All right, Abzan control. So we've got a black-white control core here with a small green splash that I don't mind for Vraska, Relic Seeker, as well as Assassin's Trophy, just like splashing a little bit of top end here. This deck's got a lot of four drops in it, as someone just pointed out, which I agree. Oh, we also have Carnage Tyrant in the sideboard. I actually really like this splash utilization. So non-blue control decks tend to struggle a little bit with blue control decks because non-blue control decks tend to have a lot of expensive cards in them that get eaten up by counter spells. So this deck getting to board into this seems really very reasonable. The tournament size is compatible to an open. No, opens tend to be much larger than the NRGCTs. The Nerd Rage tournaments, they increased the prize support for the Nerd Rage tournaments this year, so their first one was like 200 players for the year. So I'm not sure if they'll stay at that size. The last Nerd Rage CT I played was only a $2,000 prize tournament, but that one actually capped its player base at 110 players or something like that, I think. But they do tend to be smaller than opens on average, because opens are $20,000 prize tournaments, and they tend to have close to 1,000 people in them a lot of the time. The NRG top 8 payout is comparable to the SCG top 8 payout. I don't think that's strictly true. I'd have to look at the breakdown. So the big difference between control and mid-range, and generally it's all semantics, like it's not super meaningful, but mid-range decks tend to have a lot more creatures in them and less board sweepers. Really surprised not seeing Izzet Drakes in the queue. There is a Terramander build around that's probably going to turn into Drakes that'll be coming up soon. But in general, people like, decks like Drakes are pretty straightforward, and people tend to not donate money for things that are straightforward. They want to see new, interesting ideas, generally speaking. Or things that are sweet. Which is why modern donation decks became kind of brutal, because people often don't donate for good modern decks, and playing bad modern decks is really stinky. You get beat up a lot. My hand's got a lot of beef in it. Where's the beef? Right here. Yeah, brewing and testing jank tends to be a lot more friendly in Standard and on Magic Arena in general. Is modern content no longer happening? It's happening every single morning, Sarah. So every day I'm starting off with a Modern or Legacy League on Magic Online, depending on what's at the top of the queue. As long as the Standard content stays as incredibly popular as it has been, that's going to be my plan moving forward. Is one Modern or Legacy League per day. Of course, Freaky Boomer. Afternoon, Codex. Take away some of their flexibility? No, in general, that's just like too aggressive and silly. Like, spending a card to maybe slow them down or disrupt them is not where you want to be. Especially in a control deck where every card's important to answer their things. Wow, that's rude. Yikes. Yeah, I'm gonna ditch these two. You can submit any deck, standard, modern, or other, to using the form on my website here. That's how I let you know if I'm willing to play something or not. And they have another Carnage we're gonna be kinda off the top. I do have treasure map at least, so like I have like, this is like 3 cards in the bank, right? All right. As far as draws go, that was the best one in our deck. Play him a threat. Your move. Yeah, if they have Bedevil, we're gonna be in trouble. This is really scary because it means that, God, the stupid stops are so frustrating that it doesn't actually show where you're at. I guess I would have just drawn another land, so like it's no harm, no foul, but like if there would have been a spell on top of my deck there, it would have been real awkward. But worth it to run out map. No, I'd much rather play Karn than map because Karn's more resource efficient, and I'd rather Karn get counterspelled than map get counterspelled. I really hope they have the way to, like, permanently set stops in this application. Would be ideal. Or at least, like, not get it lost in the mix. I don't get why Shahar's match is a big deal. Like, that's been happening for a while. Yeah, the attack that left me at 1 through the Tristani. Yeah, I was a little surprised when he took that attack for sure. Good luck in the rest of your matches today. Someone was stalling against Shahar with Nexus of Fate for like 90 minutes apparently. Why aren't more people running Eldest Reborn? So, Eldest Reborn is kind of a narrow card in the format as a whole. It's very good against these low threat count control decks, but it tends to be very lackluster against a lot of the popular decks in the format. Take green-black midrange or Sultai, for instance. Sultai midrange, especially since those decks tend to be cutting Carnage Tyrant these days, Eldest Reborn tends to be very bad against them because they have a lot of excess creatures like Land War Elves and Midnight Reaper and Explorer creatures they don't mind sacrificing. Hey, Nizit to the Hizit, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people you can ship your Bezo bucks to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine. They get my Vraska back now, which sucks. Yep.
My mission is more valuable than your life. Show no mercy.
Yeah, Weather Lady. We've played that build a ton in the past, actually. 4, 5, 6 times even over the last couple of years. You can find it on the YouTube channel as always. Kiki Chord was aggressively mediocre, but we went 3-2 with it because that's how Modern works sometimes. No, it's pretty traditional Kiki Chord. Although Vanafear is a similar amount of slow and clunky for Modern, so it probably wouldn't have been much worse. Yeah, there's a Teamer Vanifier Modern deck in my queue that we'll get to at some point in the future that has Rhythm of the Wild in it. Yes, we did. We played against the extremely competitive 4-color Gifts deck and other such hits. In the depths of the 1-2 bracket. You know, Cyrix, if you would have just asked your question a second time, I would have seen it this time. Because I do miss things in the flow sometimes. We did beat Bob, that's true. Bob failed to draw a second land on turn 2 games in a row and he died. Trying to update my channel subscription, but the website is not prompting the use of Amazon Prime. Make sure your Prime is link blinded, Mask. Normally when you have Amazon Prime, there's an icon next to your username. And your current account you're logged into doesn't have a Prime icon next to it. What do you think of running Run, Detection Tower, and Jeskai Control to deal with Carnage Tyrant and Shalai? I think that's narrow and bad. I think your 3-color mana base with Nib Visit is already sketchy, and if you want more answers to deal with Carnage Tyrant, you should just play more Sweepers, max out on Cleansing Nova, play more Settle the Wreckage, stuff like that. I think Detection Tower in general is pretty bad. I also think Carnage Tyrant's kind of at an all-time low, because a lot of the Sultai lists just aren't playing it, because they'd rather play more Grixis. There's only so much room for top end. Hey, Nib, thanks for the tip. I think I'm just going to play a bunch of basic mountains for my upcoming RPT queue. Can we add Meme Kim back to the queue? I don't see it in there. Also, my tier 3 sub renews in 9 hours. Yes, definitely. That should, I believe that'll actually put it up to be played tomorrow, Niv. Cells on Twitch. Thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. There's a lot of great people who can ship those Bezo bucks to every month. Thanks for supporting my content here with them. You can find my preferred Jeskai deck list on my website, jeffhoagland.com. I don't believe there's Expansion Explosion in there. I think there's just so much good top end in Jeskai that Expansion Explosion just is a little bit too little a lot of the time. If I was going to play it, it would probably be like a 1-of at most. Sure. I'm going to go ahead and activate my treasure map now because I don't want my opponent to be able to bedevil my treasure map in response. So if I pass to their turn and they draw Bedevil, they could Bedevil my treasure map in response to me trying to flip it there, and then kill it, and it doesn't flip over. But once it's a land, it's no longer a legal target for Bedevil. I actually don't think Conjecture is very good in this format. I think Conjecture is like kinda clunky and slow. And I also think that there's a lot of good enchantment removal in the format in the good decks right now. Yeah, there's a lot of good top end standard. And like, that's the thing I think a lot of people miss is just like, remember, a card being playable isn't just about that card being good, it's about it being better than the other cards that serve similar roles. Is it incorrect to play Vraska out there? Yeah, I think so. Remember, these treasure tokens are each worth a card to me. So in order to stick Vraska there, it has to be worth not drawing 3 cards. And like, while this feels bad, I don't think putting Vraska into play, making a 2-2 and then getting her killed by like a Vraska's Contempt doesn't feel like a worthwhile exchange. There was a Grixis deck that did well at the SCG Open. It finished in the top 32. Hey, Sam555101, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate you shipping those this way this month. Welcome, welcome. Maybe relocate. So like the downside to waiting to play Ixalan's Binding is I was planning to untap and play my Vraska. So playing the Mortify there was resource efficient. It also, because I played the Mortify in response to the trigger, it allowed me to kill the Disinformation campaign before my opponent could have mana to negate it. Booze Shoes, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good Wednesday wherever you're at. Thanks for keeping me employed here. More Seraphs. This card is so good. This card's like a really good control threat. Like, it provides a reasonable clock in these mirrors, and, like, it leaves something behind that's valuable. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this Godless Shrine in my hand here, because if my opponent plays a Nickel Bolas or a Disinformation campaign, I don't want to discard a spell here. The Angel animation is also A+. You get good animation value out of it. BM animation. It also trades with Carnage Tyrant. Yep. I feel like people like talk about like how do you deal with Carnage Tyrant? Blocking is one of the best answers, right? I feel like there's a lot of control players that forget that they can just like block Carnage Tyrant. Hero into Thief is pretty sweet. I don't know. Thought Erasure into Thief is pretty good too. The Esper Hero deck gets to do all of the above though. Sweet, look at that. Yeah, I forgot they played Carnage last game too, so like holding these lands here is like really, really good for me. Again, gonna hold this land in the event of discard spells and let me pick. If they don't find a removal spell here, they're gonna be dead next turn. And if they do find a piece of spot removal for Seraph, they're going to leave 4 things in play unless they find an exile effect. They find like Vraska's Contempt would be very good for them here. So, it's funny, I actually didn't Assassin's Trophy this because of this exact... Oh, I forgot to Vigilance. Because of this exact reason. I wanted to be able to kill the Eldest Reborn here with a Vraska if I drew it. No, I don't think so. We have no idea how many Chupacabras they have, so I think using the binding on a Chupacabra is, like, pretty aggressive there. You cannot trophy your own cards. That's not how trophy works. It explicitly says opponent's cards. You think Abzan controlled is better than Mardu and vice versa? The flexibility of having Carnage Tyrant post-board in these control mirrors seems like a big pull for Abzan. I feel like green gives us much better finishers than red does. Like, Vraska and Carnage Tyrant is much better than, like, Captive Audience and Breath, for instance. Stuck inside with negative 50-degree wind chills. Might as well play Arena and watch streams all day. Thanks for the banned flash list. Thanks for the 4 months of Prime, Farsight. Welcome back. No. Assassin's Trophy explicitly says it only targets a card your opponent controls. I realize I need to draw lands, and I don't have a black source for this Duress, but again, I'm a professional, and I just don't like mulliganing against, Thought Erasure decks. I'm waiting on this Duress for a turn here. While I could take a Thought Erasure from them this turn, I think it's worth just, like, potentially letting them draw more cards that are better here. So I don't have any meaningful 3-mana plays. We all have bad days sometimes, Jesus. No, we all have bad days sometimes. So, by waiting on this Duress, I'm giving my opponent more chances to draw cards that I care about. So like, if this takes a sabotage or gets negated, that's a win for me, really. So remember, Duress is such an efficient spell that waiting to play it, especially against counterspell-based decks, is often correct to give them more chances to be able to draw a card that you actually want to take from them. Well, thanks, Psycho. Glad to have you here. Thanks for the compliment. Yep. And I only have so many discard spells, and I have so many threats in my hand right now that I think the best way to, like, get through these counter spells is just, like, jam into them here. So, like, I can play Karn, Treasure Map, or Seraph here, and any of them resolving is fine. But I think I care about Seraph the least, so I'm going to jam that one first. So, like, I get to prioritize how they're going to get to, what they're going to get to counter by playing the cards I care about least first. Don't Thought Erasure me. Don't Thought Erasure me. That resolved. All right, that's good. Disinformation campaign was gonna bury us very quickly. Sweet, and they're out of counterspells, right? Like, we jammed those Seraphs in, and they burned their counterspells, and they didn't have one when we shipped the binding. Hopefully, Karn's +1 reads draw a card here. I am potentially in a bad spot if they have Eldest Reborn here, but I do just really need to hit a land drop. Sub for Modern, but enjoying the arena content. Snowran, thank you for the half year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We had a moderately reasonable Kiki chord that had some entertaining moments in it this morning. So if you enjoy Modern, be sure to check that out tonight. We are still doing a Moto League every single morning, and I'm done with my front page Mondays now. That was just for January. So next Monday we'll have a Moto League every single morning now. So Moto starts about 8 a.m. and then we kick off into Arena about 9:30 or so, depending on how long the Moto League takes. Sure. How do you feel about the Gates deck? I really liked the Gates deck when we played it, actually. I actually had my graphics artist send me a banner, and I'm going to be putting the 4-color Gates deck on my website tonight. And we did not have time to do it last night, but I plan to. Legacy or Modern, Gyarados. So there's a queue for Legacy and a queue for Modern. I'm just working out of both of those. Put a stop on my upkeep now so we don't miss it. No, Kiki Chord does not play Vanafear. The way you want your deck built to maximize Vanafear and the way Kiki Chord is built are completely different. The build we played was a pretty traditional Kiki Chord style deck. Ooh, that's nice. So that's a good question. I played Karn first there because I wanted to downtick and get a land. Also, I'm not even strictly sure that Karn's like the better card than Treasure Map. Because Treasure Map's a little bit more difficult to interact with. So I think if I pick which one gets countered there, I'd rather Karn get countered than Treasure Map get countered, honestly. You're definitely right, though. I want to lead on whichever card I prefer get countered less. Perfect. Taking a half-sick day means watching you live instead of on YouTube. Put these towards Black White Angels. Will do, matey. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Hope you feel a little bit better. Let's get an upkeep scry here with the treasure map. I think I just want to push for Kaya's Wrath here. I type in a lot of words per minute. A lot is the answer. It was me half writing a tweet and then deciding it wasn't worth my time to send. Let's just focus on playing Magic. So... Alright, well that means I can jam Seraph for the scales next turn, so I think I actually don't scry and I just want to play a 4-drop. Just want to play a 4-drop this turn. They have a Vraska's Contempt. I feel a little bit bad here, but outside of Vraska's Contempt, I'm pretty happy with this play. My card's so good on defense. I am super excited for a new non-rotating format. I really, like, when Modern rewarded you for exploring instead of just playing, like, the best linear deck, I was one of my favorite things to do in Magic, and, like, getting to explore a brand new format with a deep card pool sounds really awesome. Just looking for a land here at this point. People who rope when they've lost... Scum? What's my opinion on scum? They're scum. I hope the new format starts with this one we have now. I hope they don't backcode any sets. There's some real stinkers hiding in there. They'll eventually stabilize and feel like Modern does at the moment. Without a ban list, that will happen. But if they manage the new format with a ban list, it'll be fine. Let me take this straight here.
Let my friends down.
I think I actually want to scry during my upkeep to try and hit a Kaya's Wrath. Nah, I honestly don't want them to backcode with a ban list because I've met Magic players before and it'll just be mono people complaining about what is and isn't on the ban list for like the first 2 weeks or more. No, we still don't know. There's been no update. Alright, well this doesn't kill her. Just puts her to 1, which is fine with me. Two weeks is definitely an understatement. You're right. It would be, they would complain for much longer than just 2 weeks. Nah, I think leaving Arena tied to Paper Magic is fine.
My crew is the
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Bring back Siege Rhino. So, depending on how they attack here, I might be able to save this Vraska with the Mortify off the treasure. That's unfortunate. So, I can't save Vraska this turn. But I think I'm still gonna Mortify here. So that way I can, like, play this next Vraska and, like, make a 2-2 and, like, have her be at 8 with them only having 4 power in play. This game's been a really good example of, like, the power level of Vraska and why having the green card seems worthwhile. That being said, like, they have Memorial to Folly for their Hydrate Graces back here, so we might be in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, I'm just getting started.
Vraska down-ticking with Treasure Map is kind of a treat, by the way. It's really awesome. Just like her down-tick kills something and you get to draw a card, so we might be in for a bit of a grind here. Like, I've got 2 Planeswalkers and Treasure Maps going.
I'll make use of that later.
Land, please. Ding, ding, ding. So shock this in. Play another Treasure Map, so I get to Scry plus draw an extra card here. Like, I have their Grace is gonna get to draw them cards here, but, like, I'm gonna get to cast down their thing. The title's updated. It doesn't always update on your side of the things. Title is current. Wow, that's a good one. That's a really good one. I am a fan of Ixalan's binding in this format. Deal. So, like, they have ways to interact with this, but, like, if they get this back, it just goes to the graveyard. In the meantime, they can't do anything.
Fight them, you maggots!
I think Planeswalkers are sweet. Planeswalkers make control decks have to have more answers to things, which is good because it gives more counterplay against control. I also think Planeswalkers create pretty interesting dynamic gameplay and the variety of things that they're able to do from game to game. Well, thanks for being here and keeping me employed, Waferlord. In. They've not fixed the issue with stops. I was just gonna say, I think it's Karn struck time, right? It's like time to close this game up. We've not played updated drinks yet. That felt really good. That felt pretty clean, which is like, this is one of the litmus tests for the format now, right? Your Midrange or control deck needs to be able to brawl with Sultai or it's not good enough. Yeah, Seraph does a good job of being a card that's like, helps you close quickly while also being a card that plays defense well. Probably want another Assassin's Trophy for their Planeswalkers. What do I want to cut here? They don't have many enchantments, so Mortify is probably just worse than Cast Down. Sometimes they have Eldest Reborn. I'm not a huge fan of Duress. Sometimes they have counterspells, but not always. Does Doom Whisperer come out just because it's bad against Vivian? I can see Doom Whisperer coming out because it's bad against Vivian. Carnage Tyrant blocks. We played Blue-Red Wizards on stream the other day, and it was kind of lackluster. You can find the video on my YouTube channel, and there's comments at the end of the wrap-up section. Yeah, the Merfolk deck seems powerful. It's probably a climb deck, right? All the blue-green climb variations seem very reasonable. Yeah, for someone commenting on why I cut the demon and didn't cut Seraph, if I have Seraph in play and they down-tick Vivian to kill it, Seraph leaves behind 2 tokens that then kill the Vivian, so Seraph tends to be better there. Most of the time, I think if your deck's in for a penny, it's in for a pound with Treasure Map a lot of the time. Probably just going to be Shock Kaya's Wrath next turn. It's funny, so many people have been discussing Assassin's Trophy and like stone raining people because people are playing less basics. If there's one thing that holds true across all formats with you, Twitch chat, it's that like people just love trying to destroy lands even when it's not good. Stop it. We're not playing Assassin's Trophy because we want to blow up their lands. We're playing Assassin's Trophy because it's a flexible answer that's like reasonable to include in our deck.
Not again.
Yeah, if you look at this deck, we don't have a ton of Vraska's Contempt because our 4 slot is so clogged. So, like, Assassin's Trophy is just a flexible answer to things. Hey, chat. Do you know what the best answer to Carnage Tyrant is? I was going to say another Carnage Tyrant, but Kaya's Wrath will do it a pinch here. I was going to say the best answer is our own Carnage Tyrant, but then the Kaya's Wrath on top of my deck had to show me up. Kaya's Wrath like, yo, dog, hold on, Jeff. I got you. I got you, fam. Hello, favorite wife. That's a big Grixis. The boss brought me a snack, so sorry. I was muted intentionally there. If you saw me talking, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to my boss. I think I just played this an uptick to like, hey, look, a distraction here. That's sweet because it means the next Karn's gonna get to down tick and grab the cast down to kill this. I have leftover Chipotle from yesterday. I have half a cheese quesadilla and some chips and guac. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and draw here, try and find that next Kaya's Wrath. Alright, so if I do this, and I do this, I can crack these 2 treasures and Vraska's Contempt their flyer, which seems good for me. Wonder if they have a Disdainful Jerk or something here. It pawns like they might have a counterspell.
Actions determine the course of history. This will aid us.
Thanks, Garden Variety Troll. If they want to shoot this treasure map with Thrashing Brownstone, I think that's a win for me, so I'm just going to go ahead and play this out and pass. I think this could earn a timeout. I got you, Toxic Flames. Thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. Yep, he's dead. Alright. Uh-oh. Dropping some frames. I think it's recovered. I think we're good. Wonder if we'll see them burn this at end of turn. Looking for a removal spell for this again, or Akaya's Wrath. Alright, get another scry again. This is good. This trades with the Hydrate Grixis, because it has Death Touch and Flying, so... It's spiking again. Are you getting into trouble? Dad might have to be done working. The internet's breaking.
Why?
The internet's not working. Dad needs the internet to work. It's lagging hard. Leave Dad's chips. You need to go back upstairs with Mom, bud.
No, you come up.
I'll be up in a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
I will be up in a little bit, okay, dude?
I'll stay down here.
Okay.
I'll stay right here and when you
Yeah, I'd be kind of surprised they don't have a removal spell too here, but like, I don't have anything to do to play around it, right? So like, talking about a removal spell doesn't really do anything because it, like, if you can't play around something, you don't have any tools to beat it, like there's no point in really talking about it.
This is not working.
I know, it's lagging hard, bud.
Let's go upstairs.
I don't think fiber's affected by cold usually. Let's go ahead and give this Death Touch.
Daddy, now you come upstairs when
I need to bin this, bottom this here, because they have an ooze coming up, so I need to be able to beat that next turn, which means I need another Kaya's Wrath. The ooze is just gonna bury us here. Declan's also kind of annoying. Aren't you annoying? Dad forgot to put his upkeep stop on. Dad forgot his upkeep stop. It worked out. He bought him to land a Duress spell. Larson, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I'm probably gonna be done for today. I'm gonna finish this match out through the lag, but I think I'm gonna be done. Declan, Christy's not feeling well. She told me when she came down, and Declan is needs some attention here. So let's finish this matchup, and then we'll be done. Sorry about the connection issue. Not anything I can debug live, unfortunately. So we basically just have to hit. We have to hit a Kaya's Wrath here. To not. Hey, QJC, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Technically, that's on my end. It's not on your end. I'm just finishing here. Ed. I'm gonna go ahead and attack for 2 in the air here, and then cast Kaya's Wrath. Alright, well that worked. Hey. OBS buffers and then sends it all up there, so maybe it'll be... Well... My connection looks to be back to stable. I don't know, last time we had issues like this, they persisted the rest of the day. I don't know if it's weather related or what.
Outside the door, because it's a trap.
It's a trap? Okay.
Yeah, you gotta leave it there because there's stuff in it. It's a slime trap. Dad, put your ducks down and sit down, okay?
I can't sit down right now, bud. Yeah, it's dropping out again. So, folks that take off, I appreciate you all. Declan's being obnoxious anyways, and Christy's not feeling well. So I'm gonna finish this matchup really quick, and then I'm gonna be signing off. So thanks everyone for hanging out. I'll probably throw this deck in the queue, leave this deck in the queue for a couple more matches, and we'll get back to it tomorrow.
Better prepared next time.
So I get to attack with this because this has Death Touch. This happened once before. I probably need to take the time to run cabling through the house. I never had issues with Wi-Fi at the old house, but we've had issues a couple of times with the Wi-Fi here since I've moved. I'm not sure if it's an ISP issue or if it's an issue with my Wi-Fi setup. Could be an issue with my Wi-Fi. So if you hang out and watch, thanks for hanging. I mean, I don't know about gotta get. I might have to, like, wipe my router firmware and restart it. Like, I literally have never streamed from a wired connection before, so, like, it's not like there's some kind of issue since we moved. Maybe it's the floor in between